Ofkje from the Netherlands, and I'm a Jungian therapist, and I'm a life coach, a transformational teacher, and a talent coach. And I will host every Wednesday by Awake TV network a show, and today it will be about life shifts. And this show, I will interview my colleague Mona Wimbrand. And Mona Wimbrand, she's from Norway, and I wrote a book with her about life shift stories. And we both interviewed 5 people who interview them about their life shifts and their life stories. And it's a really beautiful book. She will tell about her method she used to help people to make that shift. And I do that also in my work, make shifts. So that's what I mentioned, to make a game about this. And this game, I also made a lot of games, and it's nice. Every show I introduce one of my books or one of my games, just to show how you can use that to get more awareness, to be more aware of your archetypes, to use your inner dream team, because I believe there are a lot of treasures inside of you, gifts, talents, archetypes you can use for daily life. And it's up to you if you open your treasure box, if you will use your key to open the treasure box and get rid of your dragons on your treasure box, so you can open it widely and use your archetypes and your talents every day. So to come there, I thought it could be helpful to make a game about this life shifts. And this life shift is about the journey of the hero. Joseph Campbell wrote a book, The Man with 1,000 Faces, and that's the foundation of this life shift and the journey of the hero. In Hollywood, everybody knows the journey of the hero of Joseph Campbell, because it's about a hero. He felt there is a call, the code doesn't fit anymore, you don't like life anymore, you want to make a shift, and then you go away from your mother and the comfort zone, and then you go on a journey, and there are a lot of boundaries. You go down, 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 and there will be helpers, there will be archetypes, helpers, talents to find your treasure, who will be on the bottom of the sea or the ocean, and everybody can find their treasure. And that's fantastic, but it's more difficult to bring that treasure out to the world again and return back to the comfort zone, and you will never be the same. And you make a lot of journeys during your life, going down, have your boundaries, your problems, you get stuck, and then at the end you find your treasure. So we make a lot of these journeys during our life, and I thought it can be helpful to make a game to help people to find out what is their journey, how can things contribute to make that big life shift. So when I look to my own story, you can also see it on YouTube. I have dyslexia when I found out when I was 32, because it was difficult to get my driver's license. I didn't understand it was right or left or how to combine the things. And I was a good driver, so I took a test, and my son in that time also take a test, and we find out that we both had dyslexia. So, and for me, it's difficult to express myself, to share my feelings. So I'm very proud of myself. I'm sitting here and tell you about myself. I found out also I was high sensitive, and for now it's getting better to express myself. So I put it also in books, in grammar books. So I made some transitions. I was a Dutch teacher in linguistics, and then afterwards I became a transformational teacher. So I help people with their journey to make that life shift. And I also met my archetype, the artist, to manifest things, to make all those games. So I already made now around 10 games, and it's really nice to do that. I love that. Yes. And I want to share this with you, because during this last 10 years, I made several games, and they're all about personal development and enriching your life. Just be aware, who are you? What do you need? So I found another way to express myself and my feelings and help people to help them their expression of their feelings and find their talents and also regain their self-compassion, heal their traumas and recover from burnouts. So I also made a game about burnout. That was my last show about, and there will also be a show about self-love and self-compassion. So I made games and I love that. I could express myself not with words but with my creativity, and games about archetypes and etc. And I would be gladly to tell you about them, but today I'm telling you about my game Life Shift. And this is about this box I made, and there are cards in it. There is a manual also where you can read how you can play this game. And it's about the 4 stages of your life. And I will tell you more about that. It's about your childhood. And I make a theme. There are 4 colors because it's 4 stages of your life. This is the color red for your childhood. And this is about pleasure. Some people have difficulties to find pleasure in their life. It's about questions are on it. And it's a start to start a conversation with people and make some knots in a red thread. And let's show you immediately. And also questions and statements. And you do that for the 4 stages. This is about your teenager, it's green. And this is about going out. Why should we go? Why do you want to invite me? This is the stage of teenage. There are a few cards about these green cards so you can experience and see what's going on in your life. This is about the adult. It's the orange color. It's about the turning point, and that's really an issue when you're on a life shift. And when you want to turn around, and I'm waiting for a change. A lot of people want to change their life and make that big life shift, so everything will change. A big decision, transition, but it's a lot of people also in fear. So this game will help you to get less fear and to encourage you and to empower you to make that big change. And the end is the senior like me, and this is about enjoy. When you're getting older, it's very important that you enjoy yourself, everybody, and get your energy back and see what's going on and what's your purpose when you're getting older. Sometimes you stop with working, and sometimes you think, now, what's my next step now when I'm getting older? So this is all in this box. And what I said, it's working with a red thread. And in this box, there will be a lot of other cards with these colors you may choose. And just experience what card is looking to you, so you may choose. And there is also a red thread in the box. So that's what I want to do, this exercise with you in a few minutes. So this is the chord. And I was last year in Spain at ITTG. And then I had my speech with this big chord, and I make very big knots. That's all about. So you can see in which stage it's really difficult. And sometimes there's nothing, maybe in a teenage, and at the end there will be a lot of knots. And sometimes there's not a real knot, it's only something like this. And that's also okay. So you get more aware of your life, you look back, and sometimes you want to write it down. That's what Mona Wimbrand will talk about in a few minutes. This is about your life story. And it's good to write them down. What was going on in your life and about your journey of the hero. So this chord, you can make a lot of knots from good or bad experience. It's not about the bad side of yourself, but also about the good sides. I think when you look in your mirror and you get more aware of yourself, you see there are light sides, like archetypes, and also shadow sides. And for a lot of people, it's usual, natural for me too, it's difficult also to feel that self-love for yourself and to embrace yourself. Also, embrace your negative, your shadow sides. So for me, this chord, you make some anchors in this thread, I can maybe better take the small one with everyone to make this little knots, because you think, yes, this is a problem for me. And sometimes you want to have a lot of knots, but at the end, you will unknot them, and then you feel the relief. So you can leave it behind you. So you get more energy and get better batteries, no low batteries anymore, and more energy. So this card presents several issues in each part of your life, and you can use the cards any way you like. You can play it yourself, you can play it with your partner, you can play the way you like. And in the manual there will be some examples how you can play the game. And maybe you can look to irritating cards or cards who look to you. It's all possible. So for now, I invite you to pick up your thread. Maybe you can do it at home, or when you look to the replay, you can take a thread. Maybe it's nice to take also a red thread or another thread. And then you can do this meditation with me. So when you think for yourself and look back to your life story, in which part of your life, which stage, what happened? A lot of things. Is it when you were young, when you were a child in your childhood? Or maybe it's the time of your teenager, when you were a teenager, or when you're an adult or a senior like me. I invite you to choose one part for yourself. So I ask you now, may I invite you for a little journey in your own life story. So take a few minutes to do this exercise, and it can be helpful to close your eyes. So don't worry, you don't have to be scared. So please close your eyes if you like. In front of you, you will find a red thread. You will take it and feel the thread and choose an important moment of your life. It can be any moment. And then make a knot for a real happy moment, maybe a few knots, or a very sad moment in your life. You may choose just only a little knot or a big knot. Look what feels good for you. You feel and you remember. Was it difficult for you or not? Were you full of happiness? Just make a few knots. You choose an important moment in your life and feel what you can remember about this feeling, this situation, this issue in your life. It can be a sad moment or a very happy moment, maybe the birth of your children or the dying of one of your parents. It can be anything. My question is, do you want to untie your knot? Just feel how this feels when you have this knots and now you untie them. Or maybe you don't want to untie it and you want to make it as an anchor for your future. So you let this knot in your thread and you carry it with you every day, like your agenda. I'm really curious how this feels to do this exercise. And maybe you want to give me a call or chat or share this with me in the comments or write me a mail. I'm interested in life stories and knots and unknot your issues and stories. This beautiful game, Life Shift, with these cards, it's very helpful. It's called Life Shift, and it will help you to live more consciously and learns you to follow and trust and remember your thread. So now this is your life thread, and you can be helpful to work with it, make your knots and untie them, and see what that feels for you. Maybe, and I hope it will give you some relief. Normally my slogan is life is a game, let's play it, or let's play it together. But for now, I would be saying, if you don't like your future, rewrite your past. And that can be in a life story, to write it down, or to play with this game in Life Shift. So I wish you a wonderful interview with Mona Wimbrand. She was my co-writer in the book of Life Shift Stories. And for now, she's there, so I will invite her. So let's see what she's saying about her experience about making this book together. And at the end of the show, I will make you an offer to book a session about your life shift if you want to work with this red thread, your life thread, and that can be very helpful for you. So enjoy. Hi there. There we are. There is my special guest, Mona Wimbrand.
Hi. Hello.
I tell you something, Mona Wimbrand is a life, passion, empowerment coach. She's a trainer and she's a mentor. And Mona is dedicated to increase awareness and well-being through her personal and professional self-empowerment programs, and considers herself as a global citizen. She has more than 30 years of experience as senior executive for various industries within marketing specialist in concept and business development. She can see potential in people, possibilities, and pathways to create amazing personal transformations, visualizing her clients' superpowers. Their specialties related to self-empowerment program she is offering are conscious communication, positive psychology, and neuroscience. Mona thinks your darkest and most painful moments in life may hold the key to your life's greatest mission. And that's true. By exposing your most vulnerable self, you will become your own greatest gift. And I love gifts, you know that. She wants you to see that it's possible and that you believe that it's possible for you as well. Her wish for you is to shine bright, be free, and move from surviving to thriving in order to create a life passion, flow, fulfillment, and joy. That's what you want to share. Wow, that's a lot.
That's a lot. Very ambitious. When I'm listening to it, very ambitious. And it's true. Yeah, I'm really on a mission. I want people to find their own power and feel empowered, and that they can live in alignment with who they truly are.
Yeah, that's difficult for people.
Yeah,
it's really difficult because sometimes they get stuck. And that's so fantastic that we were both on this journey in 2019 it was, while we wrote and summarize all those stories from people we know together in this Life Shift Stories book.
Exactly.
This is your first book, isn't it?
Yeah, and when I was listening to you now, I got chill bumps.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I suddenly realized how meaningful the process, working with you and all the contributors. It was such a beautiful journey, isolated. Yeah.
Can you tell me more about this journey? Because this is all about these people, those participants, this person of Life Shift Stories. They were to encourage and to inspire other people. That was our mission to publish this book, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it came up as a, how do you say, crazy idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, and we really would like to do it. And I didn't expect that we should manage to do it, but we did. And when we started to talk to people and invite people in, telling them that what our intention was, everybody said yes.
Yes, and I was there to collecting these stories for you.
Yeah.
Were you surprised by the seriousness of the stories? Because they were really big stories, people tell us. we interview them, and how does that work for you? How was your experience?
I during the work,
Mm-hmm.
I felt so honored and humbled about the people who are participating, and how open they were about their experiences and transitions. And doing those interviews was so powerful. And I was surprised. Yeah, I was really surprised. And I was thinking, I was almost saying, my God.
Oh, you might say that, yeah.
I was just thinking, we need to share this. And that was the intention. So I was thinking,
the mission, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so powerful.
Yeah. And you sell also powerful, contribution in your work. You want to help people, women and other people, to be powerful, to live their lives with power. Yeah, so you want to help them also to write their stories. So that was also my mission.
Yes. So, and that was the connections we found between us. We both wanted to contribute in the same way, although we work differently. We have a common mission, so to say.
Yes. They all want to do this life shift, but it was also for somebody a boundary to talk about their issues, their childhood most of the time. Was there a story? We both interviewed 5 people. Was there one story you said, wow, this has a big impact also on me, because it was so heavy story? What was some story that strikes you the most?
Sorry?
Was there one story that strikes you the most that you thought, wow?
Yeah.
Can you remember?
I think all stories are powerful, but there was one particular which blew me away. And there was a story from Clinton Harris.
Wow, yeah.
From the US. I thought I knew him. And I had always seen him as very powerful and open-minded person who is also contributing through his work. But the story he shared with me, and which he is also sharing in the book, blew my mind, because it's so far away from the environment I've been growing up in, and what I have seen and heard. I have heard it and seen it on movies.
But now it was for true, yeah.
So that was very powerful for me. And it was also powerful to see how he is using that power in helping others to try. Using his superpower, contributing.
Is that true, that the deepest pain will be our biggest treasure for the future?
Very good said. Yeah. Totally.
Do you recognize it in your work, because you're really a light worker, you're a power coach, you're empowering coach, you're a trainer, you're a mentor, you also develop special programs to help people to come out this life story and start a new life, to make this turning point?
Yeah. What I discover is that people are not aware that they, I don't know how to say that in English.
Aware, I think so. Yeah, it's a kind of awareness.
Yeah, they don't have the awareness. They're standing in their own way. They are their own blockages.
Yes. Yeah.
And very easily, it's easy to discover and to get the insight on what's blocking them, and that they have this insight themselves. But the work is hard. I mean, you have to put conscious work in to make this shift. And the big change is in the unconscious part of us. It's a lot of emotional work. But when you do that, and you feel that you would like to do it, so beautiful. I mean, you used the word treasure box, don't you?
Yes. Yeah.
So, it's about seeing, realizing, discovering, and embrace that, all the treasure you find in your own box, so to say.
It is also, Mona, about self-love, self-compassion.
Definitely. Yeah, and I relate that to my own journey. Yeah, I also have been on a journey where how do you say? I needed to discover myself and be honest and give myself love. Yeah, and self-compassion.
So how fantastic is this life story book that you encourage people to tell their own story and go around their own blocks and reblock, deblock, how do you say it? And
I don't know.
Unblock them so they can tell their story for free and tell the story to the world so people it can help other people, because outside a lot of people are suffering. And it can be really encouraging and inspire people when they read story, because they think, well, it looks like it's about me. They're telling my story because it's nearly similar. So it's very helpful, these books, to write life stories, life shift stories. Yeah.
And it's very essential what you're telling there. There are two keys, I think. It's about that people can recognize themselves in you or me when we are working with them, or in the stories that they read. And having the opportunity to share stories and read stories. I think that when we do that, we open up to a universe, if I can use that word.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Where we can find inspiration and ideas.
But how can people do that? You made some programs. When are people ready to make that life shift?
That's a very good question. I think we need to ask other people. I know when I was ready. And I think it's about, most of us have this inner knowing. And I remember both you and I, we went to a conference some years ago with Steinar Ditlevsen.
Yeah.
And I heard he said something which I've heard several times, but it was the first time I realized what he was actually saying. And he was saying, when you are on the mountaintop and you see the promised land, then you have this
milk and honey. Yeah.
Yeah, you have this inner knowing, and I could relate myself to that. And the question is always how to get there.
That's one. And then what do you need to cross that mountain? What do you need not to be frozen and get stuck? Because a lot of people know, I agree with you, but then what is the next step? Then the head is taking it, but it has to be the combination from the heart and the head, I think. Don't you think so?
Oh, yeah, I fully agree. So that's actually the first part of my program. And in the work I'm doing, that you go from the head to your heart.
Yeah.
Because
yeah,
we all have.
I think in this book, the life shift story we made together is Steinar Ditlevsen, a really good example. I interviewed him, and it brings so much freedom and fulfillment. Steinar, he left a close community and is living as well in thinking, and started a new life in Denmark and afterwards then in Spain. He now is a famous international coach and speaker, helping people from all over the world. Because he listened to the call. That's the journey of the hero. Everybody go on a trip, on a journey, when they don't feel well. They think it doesn't fit, this code don't fit anymore. What can they do? What is in your program? What is your invitation to people, that people can call you to go on that mission with you in a coaching session? Do you have a special program, or do you have fit program for every single person, a special help?
Yeah, a good question. First of all, I would love to work with people who are on a journey, or would like to go on a journey. And I have a 6-step coaching program where I take them through and support them. So it's actually goes from realizing that if you would like to do the work, you have to go from your head to your heart. That's the first part. It's all about connection. That's the second part.
And the connection with yourself, you mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, we need to be connected to ourselves before we are capable to connecting to others. Yeah. And then thirdly, it's about courage, to having the courage and the willingness to go on this journey.
Yes, yes. But the stories in the book are quite remarkable. How people can survive a bad childhood or terrible experience and start a new life. What do you think about this? This childhood, has this been this scars in somebody's soul, blueprint in their soul from their childhood?
Yeah, I call it traumas, so to say.
Yeah, there are traumas. Yeah.
Yeah, bad experiences,
Mm-hmm.
which very often get imprinted in our bodies.
Mm-hmm.
So we go on autopilots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think it's possible to heal, definitely, and I've seen it several times.
Mm-hmm.
And me myself, or I'm a proven evidence on that as well. So
yeah, we're never ready, Mona. We still always on a journey. What do you think? Is it only one journey people make?
I think most people will experience several life shifts or transitions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. It's something comfortable staying in the comfort zone with our own, how do you say, it might be depressions or that we are feeling blocked. It's about daring to go outside that comfort zone to have a look.
Yeah, and try it on. And I think anxiety is the most difficult thing to use. Yeah. Anxiety is a difficult thing to help people with, isn't it?
Anxiety, is that what you said?
Yeah, anxiety, yes.
Yeah.
Fear.
Fear, yeah, fear.
Mm-hmm.
We see that nowadays. We know what's going on in the world.
Oh yeah, with the
corona.
coronavirus. Yeah. How is Norway? You're from Norway. How's this? A lot of people. The people live in silent environments. You live in the city.
Yeah, they have closed schools, kindergartens. Yeah, a lot of things are closed. Restaurants, hairdressers. Yeah.
And I think this is not for nothing. This must have a reason. This virus, don't you think so?
Yeah, I nearly don't dare to say it, but yeah, I think so.
I think so. It's really bad because a lot of people die, but people are going to be more aware of themselves and how to fill in their lives, I think.
Yeah.
What was the most interesting interview you did, Mona? Was it Clinton Harris, or I can refresh your memory because it's been Tove you interview, and
I loved all the interviews, and the stories are so different. You have John Christian, who shares his experiences with being connected to a higher source. Very interesting. He shares his experiences from early childhood and experiences from the school environment. Where for many.
They're all real beautiful stories in the book, I think.
Yeah. And also from Valerie White, who I also interviewed, and Tove Höglund.
There are a lot of stories and a lot of journeys in this one story. People make a lot of stories, and everybody made a story once. Sometimes later, sometimes when they're really very young. But do you have one advice for the watchers to be honest, to be aware of this need to make that life shift? You have an advice for the watchers?
Yeah, if you have a little sense of that, you have this inner knowing, that you feel that you would love or like to live a little bit more passionate.
That's great.
Yeah, to feel that you are alive and that you want to flourish more.
There you go.
Yeah, why sit back in your comfort zone? Just try it out. I mean,
Just
if you
jump.
would like to go for a swim, test the water. Try it. Yeah.
That's a good example.
Yeah.
Let's go for a swim.
Let's go for a swim.
Let's
And
go for a
enjoy
swim.
it.
Joy and joy, because that's it's all about. That's also with my clients when did you enjoy, was your last enjoying moment? And so most of the time they have to cry because they don't enjoy life so long, not anymore. So that's bad.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just to help them to feel recovering old pain and make that shift for the new life and the land of milk and honey, I call it, just to
beautiful.
be this abundance. Yeah, there are a lot of blocks. Yeah,
and
blocks.
I have a saying. I think the magic, comfort zone.
Yeah,
that is where the magic happens.
I like that. Yeah,
yeah.
And you do that in an imagination or a meditation, Mona, with clients. Yes.
Yeah.
And how do you go with yourself? You're on a journey now yourself, or you're well? You're feeling well.
My whole life is a journey. I love life. I'm so passionate
and grateful. Yeah.
Playful, definitely.
And grateful. Yeah.
And grateful. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. So, well, I think it's wonderful when people can connect about you, and maybe they want to read these wonderful stories we worked on last year. And how can people reach you, Mona? I will put a link also in the show.
Yeah.
They can send you an email and they can see your website, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can you tell them, and I will put it also in the link.
Yeah, thank you for doing that. And it was so nice speaking with you today, Ofkje. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you too, because I think it can be very helpful, and the watchers will see what's possible, which is also your vibrance through the screen, and feel you and see you, what you can offer, and and read his stories. It can be very helpful for you to come out and tell your own life story, because I think when you write things down, you can look at it from a distance and it feels so much better than to keep all those emotions inside. And maybe it's a bit hard to write everything down or do an interview with somebody, but it gives you so much more light and more energy. So
yeah,
we both invited people, don't we? That they tell the story.
Yeah, and it's power of healing.
Yeah.
And what's comes out on the other side, it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
So beautiful. Yeah.
Just to go through it. And that's the most difficult part for a lot of people. But you're welcome. You're invited by Mona, by me, by other coaches. We love to do our work. And I love to thank you, Mona, for contributing to this Awake TV show. And yes, speak again soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Hi, Kees Pali.
Hi there.
Hello.
Hello.
Very special to have you in my show about life shift, because I invited you, like Mona, because you're one of the writers, and we made this book together, The Life Shift too, and it's the Life Shift Experience. Yeah, we have both one book. Very special to have you here, because I'm married with you for 33 years this year, and it's not so usual. Normally it's another person, but it's very funny to interview my own husband. We do a lot of creative things together. We also made this game Life Shift together in the box I showed you in another moment in this show. And so the concept we find out together. And to introduce you, Kees, you're a writer, you're a journalist, and you're also a coach, a writing coach. You help people to fulfill their dream to write their own book, because a lot of people has this dream. And it also happens, to be my husband, and together we published this book, and we made this game box Life Shift. We translated it also in Life Shift, and after that it became the book Life Shift Stories, Life Shift Experience. So, how was it for you to write this book with all those contributors, Kees?
Well, for me, it was a real adventure. I liked it very much. Of course, I published already a few books myself, several. At least two of them are on Amazon in English.
Yeah.
But still, it's every time again. It's an adventure, and you'll have to see how the process goes, and especially when you invite people to join us. So we asked 5 women and 5 men to write down their story about their life shift. People that we thought had a great story. And this time, in comparison with the first book, we didn't interview them, but we asked them to write down their own chapter. And when they finished that, we did some editing, and that together that became the book. And well, one of the authors was me.
How funny was that? To write is very special because, yeah, it's not the usual thing to write a autobiographic story. Can you tell me something about this story? What did you want to share in this book? Because you're at a motivation to make this book. Can you tell me something more?
Yes, I did hesitate a bit because I had no idea how it would be to write your own story. But I was surprised how easy it was. As a matter of speaking, the story just flowed out of my pen.
Wow, yeah.
And the first, I almost didn't have to do any editing. It was good for me as it was. And in my story, you can also read that can also be several minor life shifts. It doesn't have to be one dramatic change, turning upside down your whole life, but there can be also minor life shifts, important enough at that moment, but like a sudden change of jobs, you didn't expect it, a life-threatening disease, and things you have to survive and things you have to adapt to.
What strikes you the most in this story you wrote? The first time you wrote a story about yourself and make it in public?
Yes, it's the first time. I did wrote these kind of stories for other people. I also wrote one about my father and one about my mother. But it's really the first time I wrote my own story.
How was that for you to do that? How does that feel?
Well, as I said, I hesitated at first. I mean, why should I? Am I that important? No, of course not. But I think it's good for people to see how things can change in a lifetime and how you can adapt to that. And for me, it was also very good to do in the process and getting relieved of all these things and letting things go and just putting it down on paper.
Yeah, but that's a good of what also I advise as a therapist, to write things down in a journal, just that you get some distance from yourself. Yes. And see, yeah, you give it words, so you solve some things for yourself and get that relief. Is that also what you feel, the relief afterwards? When you write a story for public?
I mean, that's also what we created in the Life Shift program, to help people make a change.
Yeah, and to encourage them, because a lot of people aren't encouraged when in their childhood just to talk or give things words, how they feel. And you can do it in your own time to write things down. And so I was also very surprised as I talk for myself about these wonderful stories. Can you tell me what kind of stories people deliver?
Well, there were all kinds of different stories. They all had some things like the journey of the hero, a call or a situation they were confronted with, and they hesitated. They didn't know what to do at first, but in the end, they had to change. They had to adapt. Had to take action. And sorry.
Was a special one story in the book you thought, wow, this was really a story that impressed you?
Well, it was for me recognizable, the story of Bruce Cryer. He was also confronted with cancer, a life-threatening disease, and he survived, and he got so much. He started a real new life, like I tried, and that was a very special story to me.
It can be a new start for everybody. So there's a lot of hesitating, a lot of fear to make sometimes a step, but it can be helpful to write it down, and you see sometimes afterwards you're very brave to make that step. So thank you for sharing this. Was it difficult to write your own story? You said it was like a flow, it has to come out.
Yes, it took some time to organize it in my head, of course. But the moment I started writing, it came quite naturally.
Yeah, that was my also my own experience. My personal story is in the first book. Also Mona's story, you can read it. And you can order the book if you're interested to read his life story. But I think they're really encouraging, inspiring, very powerful, these stories. But yeah, it can help this program, this Life Shift program, to help people to make that change.
Yes.
Something about that?
Yes, together we made that program, and you also made a beautiful game, a card game of it. And but what I like especially about the program is that the writing is a very important part of it.
Can you tell me more about that?
Well, yes, it's exactly what you said earlier in the show. If you don't like your future, rewrite your past.
I like that. Can you tell me more about that?
Yes, of course. Of course, it may sound a little bit strange or even too simple, but in fact, it's what you do every day. When you meet someone who doesn't know you yet, you tell something about yourself, a story. And it is exactly that story you tell every day to new people that you can change every day yourself. And actually, you often do that already. When you apply for a job, for instance, you don't tell them you are quite lazy and you don't get up before 11. It would be silly.
No, you won't get a job.
Of course not. But what you should say, and you will say, you are a hardworking person and you learn very fast and you like the job and you're enthusiastic about it. So that's what you do. And when you meet a girl, when you're a boy, you don't tell her you're usually drunk and tired and don't like anything. No, of course, you tell her a beautiful story about how you like music and adventure and culture, and you're looking forward to have a romantic dinner with her. That's the way you do it. And so you tell a story.
Yeah.
And on each situation, you tell another story. So what you in fact do is every day you construct and reconstruct a story about yourself.
That's for sure, yeah.
What we do in the program is we look back upon someone's life. And you can decide that you don't want to be a victim of life.
Yes.
You don't want to be imprisoned by the things that happened in the past. You want to be free to create a new future for yourself.
Yeah.
And although you may have had hard times, bad experiences, you survived. And one way or another, you learned even from the bad experiences.
Oh, yeah.
And that makes it possible to create a new future for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You can even use the bad experience as something you can use to help other people who had the same experience.
Yeah, you can overcome this just to share.
Mm-hmm.
And when you are a storyteller, you're looking for storytellers, they can rewrite their story, their old story to a new one. So they get a new future. Is that what you mean?
Yes, of course. You have to rewrite your story and create a new story to create also a new future.
Yes. So you help people, you do workshops to make that new future, to help them to rewrite their story. Also technical text, you're good at that. But you're also working on an online training case to write your life story and to rewrite your life story. Can you tell me more about that?
Yes, of course. I think it's very important that people write and rewrite their life stories for themselves, for their children, or for the family. I find that in a lot of families there are quite some things and feelings that remain unsaid. Unfortunately, it's a real pity. For instance, I published a small booklet about my father's life, and also one about my mother's. And the moments I talk with them about their lives, they're, well, really priceless. At this moment, you really make a connection with them. And the funny thing is, they tell you things you never knew before.
Yeah.
That's so special that I want other people to do the same, to have the same experience. And that's why I make this online training to help them write these wonderful stories.
I can remember that you talk a lot with your father when he was dying nearly, and make this book for him. And he told you everything about his friends and new lovers and when he was young, and it was very special and never told you before. So this is really priceless and a really fantastic document for people to make for their parents or make about themselves. Because, yeah, you can have it for the future and share it with your family. So it's good that you can help people help to tell their stories, their life stories, to rewrite them so they have another purpose. Yeah. I think that's a wonderful idea and a great initiative, Kees. I suggest we'll make another show on this, and you can tell me a bit more about how you create this special formula. So, guys, thank you for contributing on this show, and Mona too. So it's about this too life shift book you can order at Amazon. Thank you, Kees M. Paling at gmail.com. We will put you in a link at the end of the show.
Yep.
Thank you for participating and share your experience with this life shift experience. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Kees Paling. It's so special to have you here as my husband, 33 years already. We made together this second book of life shift experiences. Also very nice stories, and it was nice to hear about your own experience in from your own life story and transitions and life shifts you made in your life. A few of them I was aware of it, and really nice also to read all those personal stories of you and the other men and women who write their life stories, secrets they want to share, they never dare before. And it can be very helpful, empowering, and inspiring to read this story. And maybe you will be in our next book about life shift stories or life shift experience that you think, I want also to share my story. So when you like to do that, send us an email. You will see it in the chat or you will find it on my website. But when you're not clear about your life thread with your knots, I'm showing you this method is very nice to play. It's so playful and it gives so much insight, many insights in a short time. It's playful. It's wonderful. So if you want to join me, that is possible. In the meanwhile, I give you an offer. But first, I also want to see that I made this levensdraai box also in the Netherlands language, and it's also a beautiful box with a manual with all those cards and written those questions about also these 4 stages: the child, the puber, the adult, and the senior. So also very nice, but it is in Dutch. But there is also the other box, and this is about life shift experience and life to make your own life shift experience, to play or to book a session with me with a red thread in the box, or you have at home. We can do it in online mentoring. For sure, it's not an issue if you live abroad. Also with this coronavirus, it's no problem at all. We can play this game together if you like to be more aware of your stages, your child, your teenager, your adult, or your senior. And look which card looks to you, which issue you like to talk about, and maybe afterwards you like to write your life story. So life shift, when you're ready for it, when you're hungry enough, give me a call and you can book a session. Every show I give you an offer and a reduction offer. And this week it's a 2-hour session to play this game with me with life shift with a red thread. And you can have this offer for 2-hour session for 350 euro. With €100 less, it's for €250. So, but when you want to you want to buy this box, it isn't possible only to buy the box, because I made it also an online training or training 1-by-1. Online, you can book that too with reduction. Just when you are interested to become a life shift coach, which can be very helpful to help people with, just give me a call. It will be a 6 modules online training, and when you are interested, we make an appointment so I can explain about these 6 modules, what will be in it. So thank you for listening today. It was really 2 interviews, one with Mona Wimbrand from Norway and Kees from the Netherlands. They tell something about their way of helping people, or tell about their own personal story, who have been published in one of the 2 books. This book I made with Mona Wimbrand, this one I made with my husband, Kees. So if you want to have them or order them, you can do that by Amazon. Thank you for this time. Next time we will have another visitor. I'll tell you next time. Bye-bye. Have a nice day. Bye.